We want to get your big takeaways from Zion's Jordan brand deal in a second. But first, let's start with the story that you broke yesterday. 2020 draft prospect RJ Hampton's sneaker deal with a Chinese company. Li Ming, why is this significant?
It's a huge deal for RJ because he's going to be playing in New Zealand next year in the Australian Basketball League, and he's signing a 5-year deal right now that would make him a top 4 highest paid player in this year's draft.
Wow.
So for a guy to skip a ton of colleges that were recruiting him, play in Australia, and land a massive shoe deal, I think any top high school player has to be looking at this and looking at it from a branding and a money standpoint.
Hello, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, and LaMelo, you know, he should be thinking about doing a shoe deal right now as well. I think you can obviously project to go to the draft next year, but why not land something now if you can?
You shared the logo that he's using on his new shoe on social media, and I think it was super sharp. I was curious, because of what went down with Kawhi, changing from Jordan to New Balance and wanting to keep that logo, are guys starting to try to have a separate rights deal on the logo versus the shoe?
So you got to go back to Shaq in '92. He owns the rights to his logo, and he's been with 5 different brands throughout his career and taken it brand to brand.
Okay.
Lonzo's the only other guy that's done that.
Gotcha.
So Nike owns the rights to Kawhi's logo and will probably win that lawsuit. And so for RJ, he and his dad actually developed this logo a couple months ago with a design agency, and they're bringing it to Li Ming, so it's a great ownership structure.
Nick, let me ask you this. He talked about, RJ, about wanting to be bigger than just the United States, being global. How does Li Ming sell in the U.S.? I know Dwayne Wade was kind of their first guy, and he sells some shoes, but how do their sales do here? So
their sales are basically 1% in the U.S.
Right.
They have over 6,600 stores in Asia, and that's by far the majority of their sales. D. Wade has 11 Wade stores of his own. Just standalone Wade stores where he could sell all his products. So it's a massive marketplace for a guy like RJ. You know, they have D. Wade, they have CJ McCollum. They look at him as the future of the brand and the next great guard in that franchise.
I got to ask you about Zion and the Nike deal. And as a sneakerhead.
Jordan deal.
Yes, the Jordan deal, yes. I want to know what his shoe is going to look like, and please tell me that there's going to be some retro element to it, because the new shoes, I hate to sound like the old guy, get off my lawn, but I don't like any of the new shoes. They look too crazy, man. Like, I like retro shoes. Please tell me Zion will go a little retro look.
I hope he doesn't, and I think you're going to be disappointed because most likely he'll start the season in the Air Jordan 34, which is going to be their kind of forward-thinking, progressive model. And then who knows, the dunk contest possibly an All-Star weekend of Chicago. I mean, what better moment to potentially debut his signature shoe if they're able to get it done in that kind of span. But I think they're going to try to take some chances here and do a progressive look.
To make Ohm sound even older, I'm going to ask you, will Jordan Brand try to incorporate a new technology into Zion's shoe? Because we've seen that with guys in the past. The signature guy, like, you know, I remember Flywire was the thing with the Kobe shoe back in the day. Do you think there would be anything pushing the brand forward with Zion as a vehicle for it?
So they just launched Fast Fit last year with the Air Jordan 23. I don't think Zion's the guy to take a risk with. Obviously, we saw him blow out the shoe earlier in the year in college. I think they're going to have a tried and true approach in terms of the performance and really make sure he's supported and reinforced. And then maybe you take a risk with the design and go forward with that.
Nick, you mentioned perhaps at the dunk contest. Is that a realistic possibility for Zion?
Yeah, so only 9 players in league history had a signature shoe for day 1 of their rookie season. So they're working behind the scenes on this. The process usually takes a little over a year, but every brand was working all throughout the last year on this already.
Yeah.
So this is a process that's been well underway, just in case they did sign him, and now they're going to go full from here.
Gotcha. So now that Zion and Cam Reddish have inked their sneaker deals, the spotlight turns to their Duke teammate RJ Barrett. So Nick, what's the latest with his negotiations?
So RJ Barrett is definitely the best available player still going through this process. He's been negotiating with Nike, Adidas, Puma, and he'll probably decide soon now. Now that Puma did not land Zion, you know, that might be a potential there. And then Kobe White is the other guy that's out there talking to both Adidas and Jordan, a UNC guy, of course, but in Chicago, brands are really high on him as well.
Are the, I wouldn't say alternative brands, but the non-US brands, are they more apt to say, hey, you're going to get a signature shoe if you'll come with us? And is that part of their pitch process?
It's actually pretty rare they would sign a rookie. So RJ Hampton's deal is the biggest Chinese shoe deal for a rookie ever. Usually they try to sign established guys. They've signed Kevin Garnett, Klay Thompson, and Rajon Rondo, guys like that, that already have a built-in fan base and awareness in China.
Nick, what are some of the other rookie deals that have been done out there?
So Ja Morant, interestingly enough, didn't take a single meeting with anybody. He just wanted to sign with Nike. So he signed with Nike before the draft lottery even. That was one of the first deals off the board. Rui Hachimura was a guy that got a ton of appeal, a ton of interest because of his Japanese side as well with the Olympics next year there. He signed with Jordan Brand. And then Adidas landed both Jarrett Culver and Carson Edwards, who they're really high on, had a really strong summer league with the Celtics.
Yeah.
How do you think the Jordan Brand with Rui, how do you think they'll sell in Japan? I mean, that market there.
It's the China market in particular has been something with explosive growth, and for them, Asia is the next frontier. I mean, they're about a $3 billion business in the U.S. And parts of China as well, but for them, that's where they look ahead.
All right, and I've heard you've got some breaking news here, some sneakerhead news. So who's the latest rookie to sign a deal?
So Nasir Little, first-round pick of the Blazers, just landed a deal with Nike. That was just coming in today. Jackson Hayes, you could look to him to be the next guy, the next domino to fall. But Nasir's an interesting one because going into the college year, he was a top 5 projected pick. He won the MVP, co-MVP at the Jordan Classic. Heading into college, people were really high on him, and I still think long-term brands are curious.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.